know how these creatures got here. Some people said hurricane, some people said released pets, but there had to have been a lot of them. Or something kind of breeding or something happened for them to be this many of them, guys. There are hundreds of them.
What's going on, Iguana Man gang? It's your friend Raj, the Iguana Man. Thanks for checking out this video and the Iguana Man YouTube channel. Right now is starting of fall all over the world, and here in Florida, weather is cooling down. And ironically, that is the start of the mating season for invasive green iguanas. I know you would think that in the summer or springtime when it's really hot, that's when they would start breeding, but no. It is when the fall and winter happens where their reproductive cycle begins. So, we found this spot over here, and we noticed that there were some iguanas, and people were feeding them. We were like, okay, cool. We're going to come out here and see what everything's about. As you guys know, iguanas are herbivores. So they primarily eat vegetation.
You just started seeing these iguanas, or have they been here for a while?
Plants, flowers, fruits. Everything can be a great variety for iguanas. And another cool thing with iguanas is as they eat, and if there's other iguanas in the area, iguanas, they get jealous. It's an animal that if it sees another animal eating, it might just come up and try to steal the morsel right out of the other animal's mouth. These ones right here are just small little green iguanas, all about the same size. As you can see, they're sunbathing on this sidewalk, but when food is being offered, they just all kind of come in the middle to try to get a piece. Now, iguanas were thought to be introduced in Florida in the 1960s through a combination of intentional and accidental releases from the exotic pet trade. Now, an accidental release, iguanas were brought, from Florida, from Cuba on cargo ships. That's just a theory. And then the intentional release, as an exotic pet dealer and pet owner, they actually released over 300 iguanas in the Miami area in 1964. As you guys know, like most reptiles and particularly lizards, iguanas are great escape artists. Escape pets. The iguanas, they were kept as pets. They got them when they were small, and by golly, when these things got 3-4 feet, people just couldn't contain them. But they didn't want to kill their pet. And now Florida has iguanas, and these are considered invasive species because, they negatively impact the state's wildlife. They cause problems with property owners as well. Here are some of the issues that are caused by these iguanas in Florida. Damage to native plants. Iguanas eat almost any type of foliage, flowers, and fruit. Also, damage to the infrastructure. As you guys know, these iguanas, they can lay a lot of eggs during that season, and they can dig burrows that can disrupt sidewalks, seed walls, bridges, near homes, canal banks, just to name a few. And, of course, these animals eat a lot. And as it's hot, they have to defecate a lot as well. So there's feces on the surface that these iguanas leave. Now, if you no longer want to take care of your pet iguana, you can seek help from a pet rescue to safely relocate the iguana. In other states. In Florida, I'm not sure what you do if you have a pet iguana that you don't want it no more. But I can sure tell you one thing. Definitely do not release it in the wild. Causes great ecological problems, as you guys can see right here. There's a whole mess of iguanas that I guess there was like 2 female iguanas over here, and they laid a bunch of eggs, and it made a bunch of baby iguanas. And these iguanas, they grow pretty quickly. They graze on grass and flowers, and shoot, man, all of these iguanas here are minimum 2 to 3 foot. That orange one that you're seeing in the middle is about 4 or 5 foot. And I believe he might be an alpha. As you guys can see right there, he's kind of just, he's the only one orange. He's kind of bobbing his head. He's standing up straight and tall. And, all the other iguanas are kind of afraid of him. A city commissioner in Miami Beach is proposing a novel solution to tackle the invasion of non-native iguanas overwhelming the populated tourist city, paying a bounty for the head of each reptile bought in, dead or alive. Now, this commissioner has agreed to look into the iguana problem and is suggested by the councilor member Kristen Rosen Gonzalez to offer payment to these hunters. Now, she says she will offer and also give an incentive for locals to take on this active role. Now, at the commission meeting last night, she was questioned if a recent quadrupling of the city's iguana removal budget to $200,000. So it went from $50,000 to $200,000, and that's going to be paid to professional trapping companies offered, from the taxpayer dollars. Now, I don't know, dead or alive, if we can pay for the iguanas, if we're going to get more iguanas, she said. But, people are going to go out and hunt them for money. And I think it's better use of our money. Now, the green iguanas, also known as American iguanas, are native to Brazil, to Mexico, and first appeared, like I said, in the world in Florida in the 1960s, after they were being kept as exotic pets. And they got, obviously released when they were too big. A lot of people just really didn't understand. They didn't want to kill their pet lizard. Now, these numbers have grown since, guys, because they thrive in Florida's subtropical climate. And believe it or not, they're actually spreading north to the state. We've had iguana spottings as far north as Jupiter, Florida. So that is about maybe an hour and a half away from Miami, up north, that they're, past West Palm Beach that they're at. Now, cities as Miami Beach that once saw, few to little of the non-native reptiles have been recently overwhelmed by the large spiny lizards, causing damage by digging burrows, devastating plants and landscape, and of course, defecating at will. Throughout the world, iguanas are known as herbivores, but they are also here. They're omnivores and opportunistic, just due to the competition for food, because there's a lot of them, and they have been known to eat snails, insects, small birds, eggs. That's just a report. Don't have no concrete evidence, but I've heard lots of reports from people that they say these iguanas will eat anything if they get a chance to. Now, ironically, the city of Miami Beach attempted to get a handle on this problem 2 years ago. They hired a private removal company that patrols parks and public spaces, and more than 200 iguanas were removed. But one problem was the trappers were limited to a smaller number of areas, and the iguana numbers continue to grow, because even in these parks, guys, there are iguanas, but also there are iguanas in the surrounding area. An average size male iguana is about 4 to 6 foot, which is 1.5 meters long. And basically, some people have said that they've spotted lizards this size just strolling through the city, just walking around like somebody's lost pet. Earlier this year in Hollywood, Florida, the city, basically had a big iguana problem, because there's a lot of iguanas per square mile over there, or per square acreage, that iguanas were actually ending up in people's toilets. Now, you're wondering, how can an iguana end up in my toilet? Is he underground, or is he this, or is he that? Basically, the toilet and the house has a breathing system that lets out gas from the toilet, from the house, and stuff like that. These iguanas can get on your roof. They can actually get in cracks and crevices in the roof, in your attic, and then some of those sneaky little rascals can actually go in the goosenecks and the pipes in the roof and end up getting stuck, or in there, or also end up in your toilet. Now, if an iguana gets in your house, instinctively it can sense humidity, so your toilet, it's got water in it. So if an iguana comes in through a scuttle hole, or comes in through your AC vent, or sneaks in your house, more than likely you're going to see him first in your bathroom, because eventually he's going to be attracted to the water in your toilet. Here in Florida, we have many different crises, including the homeowner crisis, the cost of living crisis, tropical storms, hurricanes, flooding crisis, and these iguanas are just kind of adding to that. Even the Florida State Fish and Wildlife Commission, as known as the FWC, acknowledges the fact that these iguanas are growing, but they have ran into their own problems. And basically at this point, they have declared open season on iguanas, basically to be taken at a humane method. Now what that means, guys, is using methods as catch poles, traps, even strong enough air rifles to humanely euthanize the creatures. We're not talking about little Red Ryder BB guns. We're not talking about trapping the iguana in a raccoon trap and then throwing him in the lake. We're not talking about getting the iguana and kicking it and causing it, more stress and more suffering than it needs to. Obviously, iguanas are strong, so what you want to do is basically do it in the most humane methods. Now, Florida is also, fighting different invasive species in different ecosystems. They have a big headache going on right here with these pythons in the Everglades, which live in the wetlands in the middle, Gator County, but they are decimating all the local mammals out there. And also in the Atlantic and in the Gulf Oceans, we have invasive lionfish, which are causing a number on valuable fish species from snapper, grouper, other reef fish, and basically, these animals have few to little natural predators. So, it's our job as us humans to kind of get involved and try to do as much as we can to remove these invasive species humanely. That's the main thing, guys. It's being humane. Now, it's pretty obvious that these iguanas are giving us a run for our money, and the green iguana, as known as iguana, has become extremely invasive in South Florida, overrunning yards, damaging property, and destroying native plants. So here are some key takeaways for you guys at home. Green iguanas are primarily herbivores, living in trees, eating fruits and leaves, and they will occasionally consume insects and dead meat. These lizards are excellent climbers with long fingers, hooked claws, and they're able to survive falls from significant heights, up to 50 feet, and they are very capable swimmers. These iguanas also display social behaviors, especially when they're hatchlings, and the males engage in elaborate mating displays and territorial defense during the season of breeding. Now, something weird is happening in Florida, and in this case, if you haven't heard, iguanas are all but overrunning the Sunshine State, and we're talking about big lizards. They're thriving in South Florida because of Florida's subtropical climate and lack of natural predators. The human inhabitants don't want to share their warm weather paradise with these destructive invasive species. While there's lots of foreign, things in this area, like fork-tongued Nile lizards, these creatures are specifically destroying a lot of natural plants and digging amongst the infrastructure, and it ranks among the largest lizards in the Western Hemisphere. We're talking about the iguana. Females can get up to 5 foot, typically about 3 foot, and males can get easily 6 to 7 feet. The average weight of these giant, heavier specimens, anywhere between 13 to 17 pounds, but some people have said they have seen bigger iguanas. Even today, with all this going on in Florida, today, the green iguana, as known as iguana, still remains one of the most popular reptilian pets in the United States. And that doesn't mean they're easy to care for, guys. Sharing your life with an iguana can be deeply rewarding, but you should know what you're getting into beforehand, because these little 5 to 8 inch hatchlings might, look cute in the little tabletop aquarium that you have, but yet this animal, when it reaches full size, you're going to need something way bigger. We're talking about something the size of a room. Like I said, these adults can get 6 to 7 feet, and the enclosure you needs to be at least 6 feet long by 6 feet high, and up to like 12 feet wide, so the animal can have room to move and not feel like he's trapped in a box. Also, these green iguanas have a specific dietary, heating, lighting, humidity, and substrate requirement so they can be happy and healthy. Now, back in the 1960s, 1966 to be exact, is the first scientific report of invasive iguanas here in South Florida. Now, these animals, just as mentioned, guys, for some reason or another, we haven't had that many cold fronts or freezes. The last one we had was in 2010 or 2011, I believe, and that was the big freeze that killed a lot of the invasive species, some native too, but it definitely killed a lot of iguanas, guys, a lot of iguanas and a lot of exotic fish. Now, in Florida, it's unclear how many free-ranging green iguanas are loose in South Florida, but there's at least 7,000 iguana sightings that have been reported by the University of Georgia since 1998. So in 1998, there has been 7,000 reports of green iguanas. We're in 2024 right now, so that's about 25 years, give or take. Now, a large percentage of these lizards are running about the state, and despite them being escaped or as unwanted pets, the states, the counties, the cities basically need to do something about this because this problem is getting out of hand, and somehow they have to use a budget so they can afford to control these iguanas. Homeowners and landscapers have gotten sick of these iguanas turning their private gardens into buffets. And to add insult to injury, the lizards, shoot, they're going to leave you these nice little Snicker bars all over your patio and by your pool, which is going to cause more frustration and even more money if that Snicker bar goes in the pool. Now, it's not just the flowers and all that stuff that they're destroying in the Snicker bars, but they could be messing up the infrastructure. Basically, out here in Key West, there's been an incident in 2018, an electrical factory, and in Palm Beach, electrical factory out there, is facing over $1.8 million in damage after tunneling iguanas messed up a local dam. 2019, FWC, Fish and Wildlife, they made the headlines, guys, that it's okay to humanely kill green iguanas on your property, but you must have permission to do so. Several citizens also called these iguanas chicken of the tree. So not only are they a nuisance, but you can also catch them and they are harvestable. Some people say the meat tastes like chicken. Others say fish and pork. Some say alligator. So if you ever see an iguana and you're kind of curious and he's being a nuisance in your property, shoot. Give it a try. I've personally captured countless iguanas, and I've cooked a few in my day. And I can tell you one thing, you can cook them just how you would chicken. Fry them, curry them, stew them. But if you have a slow cooker, you can cook them Latin style. You can cook them with American recipes, Italian recipes. Because what happens, you go low and slow, that meat comes right off
We're gonna come back out here for a part 2.
the bizone.
We're probably going to bring the trap because we can't really get a bunch of them right now because of, obviously I'm by myself and once I'm catching them. Going inside. You can see it right there, that's one. Now if we had the trap, as soon as we're catching them, we can just dump them in the trap and then we can have a little challenge. But right now I'm solo, so there's not much I can really do. Just show you guys that one right there. I do got a bag I can throw them in, and I'm gonna do that. That big one is still there. He's guarding the bridge. I'm gonna go see if I can catch him. And we'll be able to get some more. We gotta make a move on Big Boy right now. Oh, he's not even really that phased. Oh, you got one. This little one's running right towards us. That's so funny. All right. Calm down. First one we got was like dark brown. This one is bright green. I don't feel threatened at all. Green one is beautiful. All right, let me bag this one real quick. I'll be right back. Sometimes if it's a challenge you want, it's a challenge. Oh no. Oh no. Oh shoot, whoa. Got him foul snared. Got right up to him. Huffing and puffing. There we have it right there, the big orange iguana. As you guys are seeing, iguanas different sizes, different colors, different temperaments. This guy, out of all these iguanas, is the most dominant specimen that I've seen. We don't know how these creatures got here. Some people said hurricane, some people said released pets, but there had to have been a lot of them. Or something kind of breeding or something happened for them to be this many of them, guys. There are hundreds of them in South Florida. Look at that. Big alpha iguana. He's a bull. Young bull. Absolute giant, guys. These things have been outlaws as pets. So unfortunately for this guy, we do gotta do what we gotta do. Follow the guidelines from the FWC. You guys can see the color of this lizard, just bright tangerine orange. A bunch of iguanas here. We don't know how or why, but it seems like they're taking over. And we don't know if a tipping point is being passed or a threshold is being passed. But in the next couple years, if this continues, who knows what the ecosystem in South Florida will look like. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. This is insane, guys. Look, the more stuff I throw, the more iguanas keep coming out. Somehow we could use this, guys. We can get a trap. Maybe we can set the bucket. They really like the color red. See this fruit right here? I don't know what that is. It's like some type of fruit of some sort. It's sweet. But look, we throw it there. They all like the red fruit. They love red fruit. I don't know what it is with these lizards. That's all we have for now, guys. Stay tuned. We're gonna come back out here with a trap. We're gonna try to trap these lizards. It's insane, guys. They're all living in these mangroves. It's absolutely insane. It's your friend Raj, the Iguana Man. We do offer the iguana hunting tours. Y'all want to come out here, lend a helping hand. We got a bunch of spots that you guys can come and catch a bunch of iguanas. Wow.